Good afternoon, families, friends, members of the Region 10 Board, Region 10 Family and Cooperative Board, school nurses, staff from Midcoast Senior Health Center, Horizons Living and Rehab Center, Avita of Brunswick, and all our guests. Welcome. I am Mrs. McMahon, Mrs. M, or maybe you've heard me called something else. Hopefully you have read the weekly emails from us this year and found them helpful, and they kept you up to date on all our adventures. As we begin our ceremony, I invite Mr. Stivers, the Assistant Director of Region 10, to the podium to introduce our certified nursing assistants. Mr. Stivers.
Thank you, Commander. It's my pleasure to be here and introduce the students. Please welcome Region 10's 2023 class of nursing assistants. The students will march from behind me through the arch and to their seats and remain standing. Addison Wintle. Logan Whelan. Emily Wallace. Gabrielle Rideout. Tracy Prather. Molly Newell. Sophia Morin. Tegan McAllister. Mikel LaFrance. Benedita Joao Nanga. Delilah Hebert. Haley Hansen. Paige Frazier. Emma Dobransky. Catherine Canterbury. Sophie Bray. Griffin Bartlett. Last but not least, Summer Ammons.
Thank you, Mr. Stivers. I'd like to ask everyone to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And due to the wind, our flag is going to be behind the students. Students, please turn for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Students, please be seated. Everyone, please be seated. Thank you. Each year we say, you can't make this stuff up. And this year is no different. The students teach Mrs. Field and I a few things each year. Hopefully they aren't shaking in their boots. It's one of the words or sentence they taught us. Wondering what we might say. We often wonder if the new language is real or just their own. They assure us it's not made up, and as far as we know, it's clean. Each day, we would ask how they were, and no matter the day or the time of the day, they were always tired. So of course, we had to get active. It wasn't uncommon to see us playing Simon Says, with a twist. Simon would say body parts with medical terminology, or pulse points. It was so much fun watching the kids try to catch up. During our ceremony, a few of our students will read quotes, and Paige will begin with our first quote. Paige?
Too often we underestimate the power of a touch, a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, an honest accomplishment of the smallest act of care, all of which have been the potential to turn a life around.
Thank you, Paige. year has been eventful in many ways. The biggest of all, to all of us, was that we returned with bright, shining faces. Seriously, we could finally see each other without a mask. A welcome sight. The students had to adjust to a lot of things though, and that was being on a schedule. Someone telling them to put their phone away, sitting in a chair. And to make this easier, we received a grant, a community grant from Ocean State Job Lots for yoga mats for each student. This allowed them to be able to stretch out to do a project, feel comfortable, and to not sit on the floor. And yes, we even did 5-minute yoga and chair yoga. We threw in some Pilates last week too. They got tired before the adults did. It was awesome. Through it all, everyone completed all the requirements to sit for the Maine State Certified Nursing Assistant exam. They cared for their residents and for each other. They comforted, laughed, and learned so much from each other. All of this took time, determination, humor, and maybe a magic wand or two. They could not have done it alone, and they wish to thank you for your support and TLC. Thank you. They were supposed to stand up, but that's okay. We did practice today. I would like to introduce Mr. Shavat, the Superintendent and Director of Region 10, for a few words.
Thank you, Mrs. McMahon. I want to take a moment to recognize one of our sending school superintendents, Mr. Potenziano from Brunswick, for taking the time to join us this evening. We appreciate your presence here today. I also want to personally thank Mrs. McMahon and Mrs. Field for your hard work in our CNA program. This has been my first year here, but you both continually go above and beyond to make this program a wonderful and enriching educational experience for our students, so thank you. And also thank our partners who allow our students to go out into the community, to have hands-on experience. Without your partnership, this couldn't be possible, so thank you. And to our CNA students, as you begin your career in the nursing field or continue in some other medical field, or go on in a different direction with your education, I want to take a moment just to remind you that the skills and knowledge that you learned in this experience is extremely valuable. Try to stay current with these skills because they're perishable, meaning that if you don't use them, you can lose them. You never know when you'll be in a situation with a loved one or a friend where a medical emergency arises, and you may be just that one person who can save them. Also, I want to congratulate you for earning your CNA pin today. It is a noble accomplishment. And I hope you will continue with your medical experience and education. You are now part of a medical community who serve the greater good in service to our society, our state, and our country. In my experience, too many people in our society today just worry about themselves, but the career path that you have chosen is one that gives back to our world, to our society. And I want to commend you on that, and I hope you will continue to do that. Public service is a tough career, whether you're in education, the medical field, law enforcement, police or fire, or work for the government, but it's one that can make a positive difference. And I hope that you will continue to do that. But whatever way you go, or how you choose to go in your career path, always try to strive to make a positive difference in other people's lives. Congratulations and good job.
Thank you, Mr. Schwab, for your kind words and your patience through the year. This is Mr. Schwab's first year with us, and he often stopped by and joined us by asking and answering questions. He may have also shook his head a few times when we said, "We have an idea." But we thank you for your support. Kate will now come and read a quote.
Note to self, when things feel overwhelming, remember, one thought at a time, one task at a time, one day at a time.
Thank you, Kate. A bit about our CNA program. In order to take the Maine State Certified Nursing Assistant exam, these students started in September with the knowledge that they had to complete 90 hours of theory time, 20 hours of lab time practicing their skills. They have made beds, both unoccupied and the dreaded occupied. They have practiced feeding each other, safe transports, and of course, shaving of a balloon. Followed by those boots shaken when they shaved a volunteer. We are very thankful to all the staff, students, and family who stepped up for a shave. It went smoothly. All of those practical experiences are so important to their skill development. We are extremely fortunate to have such an awesome community of clinical partners who allowed us to come into their facilities and gain clinical experience and the required 40 hours of clinical time. But these students have well over the required amount, and some have doubled the requirement hours of clinical experience. The extra hours will certainly increase their level of skill, and the extra experience will benefit both the residents and the CNAs themselves. It took a village some days to come up with interesting material for the students. Mrs. Field, who's on the end with the students, wrote and produced The Adventures of Mrs. Splunkmeyer. Mrs. Splunkmeyer is my alter ego. She resides in a nursing facility, and she likes to come visit the students in the CNA classroom. Together with Ursula, the CNA, who is Mrs. Field, she teaches the students about cleanliness and proper resident care. We use these clinical hours when it was not possible to attend clinical in person. There were many laughs, and above all, understanding of the concepts. I put on a wig and I walk around the school and I say hello to everyone and how excited I am, and some people are wondering who the old lady is in the front office, and it's just me. We collaborated with other programs, all sharing their expertise. CNA students and the Durago Diner students collaborated on healthy additions to the diner menu. It was fun, as well as delicious. Working alongside EMT allowed both classes to learn what it might feel like if they worked together in the civilian sector. Auto technology will be teaching us how to change a tire and use jumper cables this week. Culinary arts often brought in delicious goodies for us to try. The students have earned 4 college credits from Southern Maine Community College for successfully completing requirements of both Introduction to Health Sciences and Introduction to Healthcare Professions. We are so thankful to Horizons Living and Rehab Center and Midcoast Senior Health Center for their flexibility in helping us maintain our clinical hours in creative ways. They allowed us to practice under the wings of their staff. We were treated as staff, appreciated, COVID tested, and we feel so fortunate to have had them in our corner. Avita of Brunswick invited us in for dementia training and tours. If members of any of these facilities are present, please stand or wave. We have some over here. We have some over here. Thank you very, very much. Addie, please come up for a special quote.
I have to stand up. It's not how much you do, but how much love you put into the doing.
Thank you, Addie. At this time, we will have our pinning ceremony. Mrs. Field, would you please come forward? Mrs. Field is a critical part of our Region 10 family, and we are so thankful that she has been able to impart so much of her expertise with us over the years as a CNA clinical supervisor. As a school nurse, she makes sure we are all within CDC, State of Maine, and the DOE guidelines. Ooh, what a job. And then, as if she doesn't have enough to do, she spends time in the classroom with the students. Just want to make sure they were in the right place. Each student will step forward through the arbor as their name is called and stay present for a CNA pin and a picture. This is a great photo opportunity. So for our order of presentation, Summer Ammons. Summer is a senior in a homeschooling program. She came to the CNA program this year after participating in EMT last year and uses that knowledge base as she volunteers at the Oars and Bailey Island Fire Department. This winter, she also received her training in ice water rescue. In the future, Summer would like to work in an ER and become a licensed paramedic. Her end goal is to work with Life Flight. One of the most important aspects of the CNA program for Summer was actually going into the clinical setting and seeing how the skills she had gained helped her to meet the needs of her residents. Griffin Bartlett. Griffin is a senior at Freeport High School. He felt that CPR, first aid, and stop the bleed trainings were the most interesting and important activities this year. Mr. Danforth, Region 10's EMT instructor, made it fun and interesting. Griffin will be working as a CNA this summer and making a decision to join the military as a medic, like Region 10 Superintendent, Mr. Sean Shabbat, or going right to college to pursue a nursing degree. Sophie Bray. Sophie is a junior at the Maine Connections Academy. In the classroom, one of her favorite activities was all the fun interactive games that were used to prepare for the exam. At clinical, Sophie enjoyed learning how to take care of the residents. This summer, Sophie has plans to work as a CNA, and after her high school graduation, continue on to college to pursue a degree in nursing. Kate Canterbury. Kate is a junior at Freeport High School. She felt that the classroom dynamic was so important because we became a family. We care for each other and have bonded over our love of caring for people and dealing with some of the stressful situations we faced. This summer, she will work as a CNA at Bay Square in Yarmouth, and her end goal is to be a pediatric or NICU nurse practitioner. Emma Dobransky. Emma is a senior at Mount Ararat. She plans to work at Winship Green this summer and attend SMCC in the fall to study nursing. Emma would like to be a labor and delivery nurse. One of her best memories of clinical was working with a resident at Horizons to reorganize her room. The resident was happy and appreciative, showing the importance of being attentive to the whole person and not just their immediate medical needs. Paige Frazier. Paige is a senior at Brunswick High School. This year in CNA, she found it really interesting how different programs at Region 10 work together to supplement each other. The Culinary Arts program made the food for CNA's feeding lab. CNA and General Trades worked together to learn about nutrition, and CNA worked with EMT to run Stop the Bleed scenarios. Paige will attend SMCC this fall to begin her nursing studies and will finish her bachelor's degree at USM. Paige will be a nurse in the field of pediatrics. Haley Hansen. One of Haley's favorite memories of the CNA program was making hundreds of cards and then delivering them to the residents at Senior Health and Horizons. It made the residents so happy. A small act of kindness really can make someone's day. This summer, Haley will work at an assisted living facility, and in the fall, she will attend SMCC to study nursing. Being a pediatric nurse is Haley's ultimate career goal. Delilah Hebert. Delilah is a junior at Brunswick High School. Learning from Mrs. Splunkmeyer, Mrs. M, and her CNA, Ursula, Mrs. Field, was a fun activity because it used comical situations to show the right and wrong way to deliver patient care. Delilah will be participating in the EMT course next year at Region 10, and after graduating from high school, intends to go to college to become an ER nurse. Benedita Nanga. Benedita is a senior at Brunswick High School. This summer, she will continue her English studies and her work at Senior Health Center in the Garden. The Garden is a dementia care unit, and Benedita enjoys working there a great deal. Ultimately, Benedita would like to attend college to get her nursing degree. One of her favorite memories was her first day of clinical. She was working with a resident who had a great deal of anxiety, making it difficult to meet her immediate needs. It was exciting to realize that I had the skills to deal with the situation and help that person, Benny said. Mikkel LaFrance. Mikkel is a senior at Mount Ararat High School. Her favorite part of preparing for clinical was learning to spoon feed her lab partner, Emma, mac and cheese and chocolate pudding. Even though they were learning to feed each other respectfully and safely, it resulted in a lot of laughter. It usually does. This summer, Mikkel will continue to work at Applebee's in Brunswick, and in the fall, she will attend SMCC for nursing. She would like to specialize in pediatrics. Tegan McAllister. Tegan is a junior at Brunswick High School. This summer, she will be working at Bay Square in Yarmouth. Next year, she'll be a student in the EMT program at Region 10, and after graduating from high school, will go to college to pursue a degree in nursing. One of the most important skills Tegan learned this year was communicating with the residents, not just to accomplish a task, but to value each resident as an individual. Sophia Morin. Sophia is a senior at Brunswick High School. This summer, she will be busy working at Cook's Lobster and at the Senior Health Center as an activity aide, and she will also be looking for a job as a CNA. This fall, she will be attending St. Anselm's for health sciences and nursing. One of her favorite activities this year was watching the movie Patch Adams. This story, based on true life events, emphasized the need to see patients as whole people and focused on improving quality of life for people as they receive medical care. Sophia noted, "I have tried to incorporate that idea into my practice as I gave care on clinical days." Molly Newell. Molly is a junior at Brunswick High School. She felt like any time spent in the lab was really important so they could practice their skills before using them in the clinical setting with actual people. Molly stated, "As serious as it all was, we still had a lot of fun." This summer, Molly will work as a CNA, and after graduating next year, will look forward to attending college for nursing. It is her goal to work as an ER nurse. Tracy Prather. Tracy is a senior at Mount Ararat High School. This summer, she will continue to work at 99 in Topsom. In the fall, she will be attending SMCC for nursing, but also has an interest in physical therapy. And I might add, that is after working with a physical therapist who happens to be in our audience. So thank you for giving her a little nudge in that direction. One of her favorite times in clinical was when she job shadowed a physical therapist. It was great to see how happy the resident was to be going home soon. She had worked with the therapist and regained her strength. Gabrielle Rideout. Gabrielle is a senior at Mount Ararat High School. She felt that some of the most interesting things she learned at clinical, she learned from the CNAs at the clinical sites. That is where we saw what we learned in the book, actually being applied with real patients. Gabrielle is going to work as a private duty CNA this summer. After taking a gap year, Gabrielle will begin taking classes to pursue her nursing degree with the intention of working in the ER. Emily Wallace. Emily is a junior at Brunswick High School. She found that participating in the CNA program helped her to become more confident and provided her with skills that will help her as she pursues her future goals. She is hoping to increase her experience as a CNA by working in a medical facility. She also has plans to complete some prerequisite classes that she needs to continue on to college for a degree in nursing. This wind is not going to get the best of us. Logan Whalen. Logan is a senior at Brunswick High School. His most memorable moments were the fly swatter abbreviations review game that Mrs. M used to help reinforce their understanding of medical terminology. I did have to tell them that it was not a contact sport and we weren't supposed to be hitting each other with the fly swatters. This summer, Logan will be working at a long-term care facility in Yarmouth and will be attending SMCC in the fall in pursuit of a nursing degree. Addison Wintle. Addie is a junior from Brunswick High School. This summer, she plans to work as a CNA. And after her high school graduation, she plans to go to college to be an RN. One of her favorite parts of clinical was making residents smile as she provided care and engaged them in conversation. She was also really encouraged by the sense of community in the classroom. In spite of being from different schools, the class really bonded together. Let's give a big hand to all of our CNAs. Our students have excelled in the class, but are also working towards their future. Very thankful to all of you for the time you took to assist, support, prod, whatever it took. There have been so many people who have had a hand in making this day so special, and we thank them. Especially Kelly Gardner, our Executive Office Assistant. If it needs to be done, Kelly gets it done. For making sure our application is done, filling out forms for us, sending emails, whatever it took. Culinary arts students made the cookies you may take as you leave. Kathy, an LPN at Senior Health Center, made the butter mints that are also on that table. Evelyn expertly crafted the flower arrangements for us. Foundations of Technology, general trade students, and the maintenance staff spent many hours beautifying these grounds. Brunswick High School Broadcasting Club students who have been filming today so that local TV Channel 3 can rebroadcast it. Thanks to every one of you for all that you've done to help us. To our alumni who are here with us today, Tori Hersey and Lexi Brilliant. They are over by the table. They assisted you today with programs and other things that needed to be done. Thank you to the many staff and students who helped make this area so beautiful. Marty McMahon has been taking pictures throughout the ceremony and for many years. Thank you, honey. To all of you who have given so much time, energy, and support, thank you. Couldn't have done it without you. There's a student presentation. At this time, Sophie would like to come up to say, I don't know, maybe more than a few words, I'm not sure. I was kicked out of the room when they were discussing it.
So first of all, I'd just like to thank Emily Wallace for putting all of our thoughts into words. Thank you so much, Emily. It was really helpful. All right, here we go. Hello, everyone. I would first off like to appreciate each and every one of you for being here today to celebrate this year's 2022-2023 Certified Nursing Assistants. It's been an amazing year full of opportunities and experiences, so thank you, all of you, for supporting your newly certified CNA students. This next thank you goes to Region 10 Technical School. Thank you, Region 10, for not only your endless support, but for the opportunities you provided us so that our classes could become the most knowledgeable, equipped, confident, and prepared versions of ourselves before entering this line of work. The fluidity between programs has allowed each and every one of us to compose a synergistic bond that's so beautiful to be a part of. Culinary made the food for the CNA class when we were learning how to feed patients. Numerous boys from different programs allowed us to shave them for our annual shave day, and we collaborated with general trades to better enhance our knowledge on healthier eating habits and nutrition. Now, some of those examples may seem a little bit silly, But not only did those programs make it fun to learn these skills, they provided the opportunity to taste test some delicious food and ultimately advanced our skills as CNAs to transfer over to clinicals and residents, and for that we are very grateful. Now here comes our most important thank you of all, to our lovely teachers, guides, and outstanding role models, Mrs. McMahon and Mrs. Field. If you look up the definition of teacher, it will state a person who teaches, especially in school. Now these women aren't just some regular teachers. Mrs. M and Mrs. Field have gone far beyond the required standards of being a good teacher. These two women have cultivated each and every one of us sitting here today, holding us to the highest standards and demonstrating those standards for us day in and day out. Their excellence in this field of work has allowed them to bring the utmost knowledge to the table and share their intelligence, placing it within each of us. Not to mention the important opportunities they supplied us with, fueling our brains with the understanding to master the skill or topic we were learning at the time. Speaking for the majority, I know we came here with little confidence, but these teachers instilled in us their confidence. Whether she was scootering, walking, or running, she was always right behind us, supporting, reassuring, and cheering us on. So thank you, Mrs. M, for all you have done. It does not go unrecognized. We really appreciate you. Thank you to Mrs. Field, not only for your devotion to us as individuals, but as the people you've helped us become with your endless support. Your caliber is unmatched, and you're truly meant to be a clinical instructor. We are forever grateful to the both of you. Thank you both so much.
I keep everything, so putting that in my book. Gotta find my page now. Thank you to each of you for your support and encouragement, and to our newly pinned nursing assistants. A few words from my favorite doctor. Well, my second favorite doctor, Dr. Seuss. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the one who will decide where you go. Dr. Seuss often accompanied our classes too. And just in case you're wondering who my favorite doctor is, it's Dr. Kathleen McMahon, my daughter. This concludes our ceremony, and thank you for attending. Please take a cookie made by Culinary Arts and have a wonderful evening.